Okay, meeting called to order at 5:28. Everybody have a chance to review the minutes as amended.
Motion to approve.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Bills, we got a lot of bills. Huh?
So we got three, one in the envelope and two at the table.
This is the only correspondence? Okay. Okay, we're in receipt of a correspondence from Jacob Driscoll in engineering concerning 238 Warren Street West, indicating that he approved the wetline and erosion control barrier that was not completed when he had started the work out there before we issued the cease and desist. Does he need to do anything else to confirm?
We just need to go and inspect that,
Right,
right? Because we said we need to inspect that, and then...
but if this gentleman's already inspected
Well,
that,
No, we said that what we required in the order anyway, that is
Right.
supposed to, was state if still fence,
right,
then the surveyor sends us a letter,
oh,
that
okay.
they have
Yeah.
installed it at the location proposed.
Okay, so that's what this
Right,
is.
because then he's responsible for the location.
Okay.
And then we just go out and do inspection. If it's not installed at the right location, why bother looking at it?
Do we know whether he's adhered to the other issues that were
Not that
found?
I'm aware of.
I can come by in the morning if you want,
Okay.
make sure that,
Well, we want to make sure that all those are cleared up before we lift the
Well-
cease and desist.
the way that I read that letter was that what was supposed to be there in the beginning is in place where it belongs.
Right.
But
Okay.
that does not include, that's saying that what was part of that order is there, and since that order, he was ordered to put a single row
Right.
along the right side of the driveway so that,
Which is there, I've seen that.
okay, is it staked and in place?
Yep.
Okay.
But
Was
I
there a
I
sign
didn't
out?
see any sign, and I don't know whether he met the other conditions. I don't know.
I think that was the only other condition,
Yeah, they're
right?
supposed to have the sign of...
The sign.
You have the sign posted. And then you want to make sure that the order of the Board of Health has been met too, because...
Well, that was concerning the flooding, and once they repaired the pipe, I'm assuming that the flooding has subsided.
Yes.
Because if you remember, well, we raised the issue during the public hearing process. We raised the issue about the driveway.
Right.
And they said, oh, no, we're not going to change the grade. It was going to be...
Right.
Okay?
Okay.
So the
So
flooding
you-
issue has been
Been resolved.
cured.
Has been
Okay.
taken care of.
I know that it was surveyed before it was covered, so that
Does-
that pipe was
Had
located.
Dave gone out there and
I think David
verified
went out there
that?
and
Okay.
Checked it out.
So we're clear with the Board of Health then?
I would guess I'd make a motion to send Bill out there where he's familiar with it, and call Gail, and Gail can coordinate with the Board of Health, make sure everything's good.
I'll talk to Dave.
Do
We
we
want to
wanna-
do that before
And
we
they wanna
lift the
take
cease and
With the
desist.
letter that was issued, because the letter specifically said X, Y, Z. So you gotta make sure that those items are met.
Right. Do you have a copy of that, or can you get
John,
him a
I'll get your
copy of that?
We'll leave tonight.
All right, so there's a motion. Do I have a second?
Second.
Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
So moved.
Well, the cease and desist will be removed once those conditions.
You gotta vote on it. You can't release the cease and desist on site.
And we can't vote on it
Right,
until
until you
Bill comes
report back
back.
to the commission. So
Right.
you can,
So that won't happen till the next meeting.
right,
So he can do no work until the
that's
next meeting.
correct.
That's right.
Because you need a vote
I don't
from
think
the
he's done
commission.
any work out there last time.
I know he
was
just
by.
wanted to get rid of the stumps, and that was all he was gonna do.
Right. Okay. So the cease and desist remains
Remains in place, yes.
until you get back with a positive confirmation that all the items have been cleared up, and then we'll vote on the 17th
Right. And
as
then
to whether
put
we
that
can
on the
lift the
agenda.
cease and desist. Okay. Sounds good. Okay, formal. Do we have any other informal business? No.
No.
All right. Why don't you,
That to Bill. Please.
there's that letter.
She knew that was gonna be needed.
All right, you want to read, Paul?
It's like that magician.
All public hearings and meetings read by the Raynham Conservation Commission on Wednesday, February 3rd, 2016, at 5:30 PM in the Raynham Veterans Memorial Town Hall, Donald L. McKinnon Meeting Room, 558 South Main Street, Raynham, Mass., are relative to filings and joint hearings and/or meetings under the Mass General Laws, Chapter 131, Section 40, as amended, in the Town of Raynham Wetland Protection Bylaw.
Thank you, Paul. All right, we have an issuance of a determination of applicability for Lot 6, Mill Street, Map 8, Partial 225, Doug George, 391 Wareham Street, Middleborough. We voted on that last month,
And also his,
verified it.
special conditions on it,
Okay.
too.
Okay, we have an issuance of determination of applicability, Paramount Drive and Commercial Street, Map 15, Partial 176 2B, Haynes Corporation. This one's all set as well. Okay, we're set to review an amended order of conditions, DEP file number SE 2690914, Patriot Recycling, 1958 Broadway.
Here she-
Hey, Gail. May have to redo this page.
What?
May have to redo this
What'd
page.
you do?
Somebody can't
Somebody
see.
screwed up.
Yeah?
He wrote his name where the date's supposed to go.
Do you have the green cards and all that
Don't worry.
information?
Don't worry
Can
about
write
it.
in the date. Yeah.
Just make your name big so it looks like mine's just in line.
Yeah, in other words, you make a mess too, so it doesn't look like it's just him.
Blind leading the blind. The first mass and the next
Oh, my
mass.
God.
Told you, it's been a long time. This time. Enjoy, Paul.
Thank you.
Okay, Paul. He has to formally read that before we can start. It's okay, we're all set. My
In
ass
accordance
ain't
with-
that good.
Okay. In accordance with Mass General Laws, Chapter 131, Section 40, in the Town of Raynham local bylaw, the Raynham Conservation Commission will hold a public hearing on Wednesday, February 3rd, 2016, at 5:30 PM in the Donald L. McKinnon Meeting Room in the Raynham Veterans Memorial Town Hall at 558 South Main Street, Raynham, Mass., on a request for amended order of conditions filed by Patriot Recycling Corporation, P.O. Box 240, Southeastern Massachusetts, 02375. The applicant proposes clearing and utilization of additional land as part of an existing asphalt, brick, concrete, and shingle recycling operation, for which an order of conditions was issued on June 3rd, 2015. The activities would be located beyond the 25-foot no-activity buffer from adjacent bordering vegetated wetland. The applicant also requires the review and approval of a delineated vegetated wetland line associated with this additional land area. The project site is located on property owned by Massasoit Greyhound Association, MAP 1, Lot 10, and Broadway Realty Trust, MAP 1, Lot 11, and is located behind the Raynham Taunton Greyhound Park at 1958 Broadway, Raynham, Mass.
Thank you, Paul. Go ahead, sir.
Thank you. My name is Mike Quattromoni. I'm with SciTech Environmental. And we submitted the amended notice of the request for an amended order of conditions, actually for several reasons. Last year, there was some clearing that was done beyond the area that was originally approved in that June 3rd order of conditions. And as a result of that, we were requested to come back in and initiate this process. And as part of that, Chris looked at the property and it was realized that, there's additional upland area that he thought would be good to utilize as part of his ongoing operation out there. So we went ahead and we did additional delineation work. Actually, if I could just back up for a second, we did submit a plan that was requested showing the area that had been cleared during that initial area. The plan's on file with the commission, but basically, it was the area right that you can see shaded right there. So that plan's on file. And this is the additional area that we've determined is upland. We did have two delineations done. One when we were first requested to do it, and then the second one when we determined that we wanted to use additional land area out there. So there's a B and a C line, and those were done by Wetland Strategies and surveyed by SciTech. So this is the additional area that he's looking at utilizing now. As I mentioned in that request for the amended order, we will have the 25-foot setback. All along that setback line would be the formation of the ground stump and wood berm that's consistent with the rest of the site and the other application that we had further over. And that would be right along the 25-foot setback line. There'd be a 15-foot setback from that would allow for access to get to the berm, to do maintenance on the berm, so that they can get in there and make sure that the thing is sound all along its length. So this area here has been cleared already. This is the additional area. I believe it's about an acre of additional area that wants to be cleared. He's proposing a 50-foot setback from the property line here, and he's going to build a visual noise barrier right along that 50-foot setback line for the benefit of the neighbor over there. So this area here, this 50-foot swat will remain in its current condition, which is wooded. And so all the activity will be on this side of that timber mat barrier. And the barrier should be pretty effective as far as blocking the operation and the noise, any noise that might be associated with it. There was a cease and desist order issued as a result of some activity that had taken place, and that was associated with the removal of this portion of some timber matting that had been installed and some other work that was done right down in this corner here. And so that work obviously had ceased. So we're hoping to address that this evening as well. And but up in this area, as part of that initial clearing, there was work done within the 25-foot no activity buffer. So when we go out to establish the 25-foot setback line, we're going to reestablish it through that area. That area will be graded back again with organic soils and seeded. So we'll restore that 25-foot setback.
So you're going to reclaim that piece of it, and you're going to remove the berm that's there?
We're going to remove the berm, move it back out to the 25-foot line, place topsoil, seed the area, get vegetative growth back in that area that was disturbed. This timber berm that had been built in there previously, that is now gone. That was part of the work that was done, resulting in the cease and desist. So that's already out of there. I had planned on taking it out as part of this anyway. And this berm here is also gone the longer one that was
Right.
more central in there, so
So
that's out of the
that's
town.
already gone?
Yes.
Okay.
And so we'll restore that area right in there and get the 25-foot no activity buffer reestablished. So what that'll do is, that'll allow him additional land area, basically for material stockpiles and some additional room to conduct whatever screening operations may be done. And on this plan here, I'm basically just showing designated areas where stockpiles may end up, different types of materials, processed concrete, processed asphalt. This is the shingle pile that is out there now. I'm not sure if it comes out to this extent, but I'm just showing designated areas where these different piles or different stockpiles may exist. So that's all that plan is intending to show. And this is the limit of the land that they're proposing to utilize. This area here, we didn't see any benefit at this time as far as this project to utilize that piece of property. It just gets too narrow through here for the utilization as part of that activity. So we're not proposing any activity down the back stretch that runs along that Prospect Hill Street. Site Tech will go out before any trees are cleared and mark off that 25-foot setback line, so to make absolutely certain that there's no accidental excursions into that area. It'll all be flagged off and be extremely obvious how that's going to, where that's going to take place.
We'd like to go out and review that
Sure,
line as well.
Sure. And so that'll be clearly marked, just to make sure that there's a good distinction between the actual wetlands flags and the 25-foot line. So that'll be abundantly clear. And then the area will be graded off, probably with the processed material that they make out there. It's a good material, and for this intended use. So that's pretty much the extent of this aspect of the project. The other aspects still remain. We do have a replication area that we're going to do up there. That'll probably get done in the spring. So
Yeah, you can't do that now. How tall are these piles that you're proposing?
I think 10 or 12 feet high.
I never measured.
Yeah.
Are you talking the berm?
The swamp mats.
Oh, yeah. I mean,
The stockpile.
stockpile, yeah. It's hard to say, I never measured.
Yeah.
Significant, they're not going to be little 5-foot piles.
No, they're gonna be
They're gonna
fairly substantial.
10, 12 feet,
Yep.
yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
So there's a potential for
That back pile's
dust.
probably
being-
30 feet right now. That back pile's probably 30 feet height.
Which part are you talking about?
The northern corner,
This one over there?
next one over, right in that area.
Shingle pile there?
Yeah, that's gotta be 30 feet tall at least.
20-something anyway.
Yeah. And how high are the mats along the edge there? What do you call them, the wooden mats?
The wooden mats?
Yeah.
I think those are probably going to be about 15, 20 feet high
Yeah.
when they're all said and
They're
done.
big, yeah.
Because
Yeah, they're pretty substantial.
What keeps them in place from tipping?
They're very large, heavy mats. They're at least 10 feet wide. And,
Probably 10 feet wide?
Yeah, they're pretty substantial. They're called
That's what
swamp
they
mats.
use,
The logging.
Yeah, across the
Right.
swamp for the
Exactly.
for
Yeah.
the,
for
Utility.
the high tension
Utilities,
wires
Right.
and stuff.
So they're pretty structurally sound. Yep. It's better than any type of an earth berm, I think, and
yeah, I didn't know how wide the footprint was, because
It's wide.
10-foot high, or 15-foot high
it's-
wall that's only 8, 10 inches wide is
yeah,
going to be
no,
tipping
it's pretty,
No.
they're probably 10 feet wide.
10 feet wide.
I think the loader can only move 3 or 4 at a time. That's how heavy they are.
Any questions from the commission?
So it's fair to say that there will be no work past flag number C7? That's the end of it?
Yes,
We're done? That's
Yes.
the end of it?
yes.
So these things could be 30 feet high, this is gonna be 15 feet high. 10.
Anything else from the commission? Before I turn to the audience? Do you have any comments? Have you looked at this? It's okay?
Yeah, as long as they take out that existing timber out of the 25, because that right in this area of B18, B, kind of halfway between B16 and B17, down to just before B23.
He said that's already removed.
Okay,
Yeah.
so as long as that is, they're gonna have to restore that area.
But you can't do that till the spring.
Right.
Well, he said he would grade it.
But
That's,
that'll
yeah,
have to be added to the reclamation
yeah,
when it's done, to
Yeah.
restore that to its
Mhm.
natural.
yeah.
Right.
And that's the area.
They can
that's-
grade that area. This is the 25-foot no activity buffer.
Right.
Right.
And that was the area that you were talking about, the organic soils coming in.
And, they have the organic soils, and that type of work, the
You know it's
soil
not
gets a
there.
little bit better.
There's no siltation devices from, say, where they have to do that restoration, from B23 back to B13-ish. I mean, maybe at least silt fence along there.
Mhm.
Just along that line so that nothing does go into the wetlands. You're not looking at a permanent type of a
Just
thing
while,
like the
During the work.
big
just while they're
berm.
doing the work, project is going on.
Yeah, even if they do hay bales, at least. What do
You
you think?
understand what we're saying?
That makes sense.
To protect this area
Yeah.
right here
Yeah.
while that work
Yeah.
is
Right.
going on.
Right.
Sure.
I would probably say on that area, hay bale abutted against the silt fence, and then, but the hay bale on the work side.
Okay.
And then the silt fence on the outside, because of the height of the operation. So at least the silt fence gives you a visual barrier.
Right.
And then the hay bale, not the silt sock, because the silt sock is too.
It's too small.
Right.
Were we requiring
Behind
no
the
work
house, bro.
beyond this point signs? Was that in the original order? Okay. Okay. So we would expect to see those signs up as well?
Just like there are signs all over the rest of the property.
Yeah, well, we
so-
need those signs to be extended to that area as well. Okay. Okay, I have a motion.
I'll make a motion that we close the hearing.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Good, okay. You want to make a decision? or what?
You have, after you close the hearing, you have 21 days to issue a decision. Now, that can be, that's basically what the law says we have, but nothing says we can feel that enough information is there. Nothing says you couldn't vote to issue an order of conditions.
We should do
After
that.
you close, yeah. So you can do that, you can do that.
Well, I'll go forward and make a motion that we issue a amended order of conditions for DEP file SC 269-0914 for Patriot Recycling, 1958 Broadway. With the stipulation of the silt fence and hay bale on the work side from, I don't know what this flag's on,
B13 through B20.
from B13 through B23.
Can I like to speak on that?
Yep.
I think before we can do that, either our zoo needs to go out and verify that the flags are there and they're in the proper place according to the map. I think that's a little premature.
I mean, the wetland flags?
Oh, we already looked at that.
Not the new ones,
Not the, no, when they said.
not the C ones.
Not the USC ones, but no, they did, we did. We actually did, when we went to look at the work that we're doing to make sure they were not doing any more work.
Oh, you've been out there?
Yeah, so those flags, I mean, Lenore White it's almost like the late Dr. Hewitson. you know? And by the way, speaking of the late Dr. Schultz and the memorial service on Friday, if anybody wants to go, at 4 o'clock at the Congregational Church.
I didn't realize you'd already been out there.
Yeah, we just didn't allow them to do any more work.
Well,
Okay,
we'll
but you
we'll be
have
out,
reviewed the flags.
Yeah, the flags are fine.
well, we'll be out there again once they tell us that they're all set to begin, so that we can
Yeah.
review
No,
the,
I didn't
Cell
realize
phones.
you reviewed
Yeah.
the C flags from B to C.
That's why they pay the fee.
okay. So there's a motion made, is there a second?
And,
Second.
yeah, second for discussion. So that erosion control and also to extend the signs.
Right.
Of no activity, and that the area needs to be restored.
As part of those amended conditions?
And that the last is that the issuance of the amended order of conditions does not extend the original expiration date of the original order.
You understand all
Yeah,
all that?
I do. No, but the question that Chris has asked as far as activity when activity could start in terms of conducting the additional clearing out here, formation of the berms, the ground stump berms and all the site preparation work.
During, the winters.
Well, once the commission issues the order,
They have 10
they
days.
have an appeal period. If they wish to continue work, they are doing the work at their own peril.
Okay.
Nothing says,
Appeal period.
Yeah. Okay.
You understand?
Yep.
You understand?
Yeah, okay, perfect.
but it cannot stand until you actually have the order.
Right. And would that be issued
Most likely in the next meeting,
at the next meeting?
It'll be signed at the next meeting.
Right.
Yes, we have to.
which will be the 17th.
But we're voting to,
And then
You already voted to issue it.
you voted to issue it, you won't have it in hand until then, right?
Right.
once you have it in hand, then go to the-
Okay. So the motion's been made. Do we have a second?
I second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Okay, so moved.
One quick question, so we start work on our own nickel until the orders,
No.
oh, so you gotta wait for 2 weeks?
Well, no, what we're saying is that you can't start until we assign the order, which will be the next meeting, which is
Okay.
the 17th, which you're right, is
Yeah,
2
okay.
weeks. Then there's an appeal period.
Right.
It's your
An appeal
liability
period.
if you want to start working in that
Okay.
period. If somebody appeals it, then
Yeah.
you could have an issue. Okay.
Okay, thank you, now you just, this one's done.
In the meantime, you can start putting the silt fence, the erosion.
Okay. Now
Yeah.
it's done.
Thank you.
Thank you.
So, back to Azu's comment. Dr. Hewitson
Oh,
asked
okay.
on Sunday. I don't know who's had the chance to meet him, but
I've never met him.
No, I don't think I did.
he was so good that if he did a delineation, Judy Christine would go. That's all said. We did, in the old days, he did several classes with us, where, better than any Mac class you could ever have, because he was old then, and nothing stopped him going through the woods. What was he, 82?
82.
So,
I was just telling Azu today, someone called me last week, and asked about Walter Houston. Out of the blue, it was strange.
yeah, I mean, Judy swore by him.
Well, he was PhD from Cornell University. And for 50 years, he had no spleen.
No kidding.
He was taking medication for that. And then he had pancreatic cancer, and then he had congestive heart failure. Yeah,
You know, Sarah, is it Sarah Lane, where the dentist lives over there in Braymore Woods? Sarah Lane, Gretchen Way, Scanlon used to live up in there. Well, the lot next to Scanlon was a serious issue. And it was some wetlands that had been filled, and we went back and forth with it, and he was out there with us 4 or 6 hours. And, it became a teaching thing for the commission. And we did, and he would do soils and plants, and nope, that's not one of the ferns. This is the fern over here, and this is why, and flip it over and explain it all.
But that kind of detail isn't involved in the MAC classes. We don't get to that level of
You don't
detail.
get that, yeah.
So that would be interesting to be able to get some
Go out in the
of that.
field and have something, yeah.
Right. It's all book learning, as it were. It's
Yeah.
none of the infield
And that-
and identifying.
that
Just
just-
because you read a book on mountain climbing doesn't make you a mountaineer.
That's right. And you know, when you start trying to compare soils,
Oh, that's tricky.
you know, and you're looking
Yeah.
through that stupid color book,
Until you've seen it. You know, there's no replacing experience.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, he was good.
Okay.
He knew his.
and we got them, we just had to pay the review. We didn't even have to pay for the review because he was out there proving to us why the
Right.
line was where it was.
Right.
So we got to go to school with the professor for 6 hours for Zippos. Mr. Taylor paid for that one.
Okay, just one other quick item. As a follow-up to our comments from last meeting concerning the illegal dumping that's occurring off of Britton Street behind Mel's Diner, I did reach out to the Randy Buckner. Response back to him, from him, indicated that they were in favor. He believes the selectmen would be in favor of some sort of barrier. He believes DPW and the fire department would all have to be involved in the decision and working out the details, but asked us to find out who the contact is to get permission to use the property for a barrier. Okay, in further review of the GIS maps, it seems that the area in question where this barrier would go is actually MBTA, or the South Coast Rail, right away. So we have to reach out to them to find out whether indeed we can actually put the barriers up there or not.
Who owns
That's gonna be a 10-year project.
the property at Mel's Diner?
It doesn't matter, because that's not, the area in question is where this would have to go is actually the MBTA right away. It's not coming up, if you look in the GIS map, it's not identified as individual property owners.
So they're not going directly off those
Actually,
those businesses.
if you look
They're going
at-
down.
If you look at that map that we were just looking at for the previous thing, it actually says, I think, the railroad in there, if I'm not mistaken. It's like Penn something.
So there's a, I don't know, 20, 25-foot swath right down that road that we would put the barrier up. That is actually MBTA property.
Well, what about, you know how you got the tracks, right?
Right.
And then there's that grassy area that they're driving through behind Mel's Diner? What about on the grass side of that?
Well, that's possible too, but
Do we know who the owner is of the property at this point? Is it still Pete Panettiere?
I did not look that one up.
well, let's pursue an MBTA permission to use the right-of-way, and if that just goes nowhere, then we can do that, look at Mel's Diner property, see if we can bring it up onto his property and put it there. But they were talking about a similar gate-like function that they have over on Rogers Way, where the fire department and the police department have a key to be able to allow them to access in and out, as opposed to a
Permanent barriers that
Jersey
need machine
barrier
to move.
type. Okay. But looks like everybody's in favor if we do the work.
If we do the full.
We do.
Was there,
Basically, yeah.
Because
Was-
Highway has already said they have Jersey barriers they'll put in.
Yeah, but what we're hearing is they don't want Jersey barriers. They want to be able to, a gate that they can open
Well,
and
you put
close.
Jersey barriers and then you put a gate for,
Right.
Wow.
So, yeah, the Jersey barriers could be used on a larger section, but we just need the gated area. Was there any insight on who's going to pay for the gate?
you are. Because by the time this ends, you may be chairman.
Oh, I think we'll be beyond me. Maybe we'll be back to you.
No,
We'll be back to you by the time we get an answer from South Coast Rail.
You do what Donald Trump said we're gonna do with the wall in Mexico.
The Mexicans
Build
pay.
it and let them pay for it.
Who they are.
They're gonna build it.
So
You can't pay.
I do have some contact information for Jean Fox, who was the project manager. Let me reach out to her and see where we go from there. And if
Really
that-
nice when you get her on the phone.
and
Is she still
Well,
there?
I did go
I'm
on
gonna
the website
email,
and
I'm
look
not
it up,
gonna call,
and her name
because
was
I need
still
to have
there.
some background.
Her contact information was still there.
Oh, wow.
So I'm not sure, we'll find
We'll
out.
find out.
Yeah,
If we run into a roadblock there or a dead end, then we'll approach it from the other side.
Really nice.
All right, that's all I had. Anything,
All right.
anybody else?
Motion to adjourn.
Second.
All in favor?
All right. So be it.